Hello guys, NautoAisDx once again, and this is going to be a special vlog, or technically a video response to various people on my takes on Nintendo, censorship, and of course Street Fighter 5. Yeah, so yes, I'm jumping the bandwagon. I want to give my 2 cents about what's my thoughts on Street Fighter 5's new censorship, the direction they went to, and Nintendo censorship on Xenoblade Cronicles X. Alright, so first of all, just basically, is it really a big deal? And in my personal opinion, I don't think it's a big deal. Like most people said, it doesn't affect the gameplay. It's just basically a bunch of, let's just say something to look at for some players. I guess motivation or whatever. Playing the game, say, "Oh, I want to play the certain characters because they do what they do a certain thing." But that's just a minority vocal. I even have to say that. So first thing I want to give my thoughts about the censorship in Street Fighter 5. Of course, same most people talk about, Cammy and r.mika. First of all, does it affect the gameplay? Of course, certainly not. But like I said, for some people who are maybe a fan of r.mika or Cammy, they're probably going to say, "Oh, why did you do that? That's the whole point of they're supposed to be like, they're supposed to act this way, or they're supposed to be showy, and you're removing that away." Okay, I can understand that. First of all, like my thoughts with Cammy basically changing the angle when she's doing her intro, I don't think that's not really much of a big deal for that one. I mean, there's probably a reason why she dressed that weird, costume that she's wearing again. I mean, there is maybe a backstory, but it doesn't really affect the game. And like me personally, it doesn't really bother me because I remember Street Fighter 4 how her intro is that it's always focused on first the butt and then to her. Okay, maybe that's how the Japanese just sees it. I don't know. But then there was an article about it that some people were concerned that they were noticing in Street Fighter 4, and this is the reason probably why they changed it, was why is it when it comes to Street Fighter 4 the guys have normal intro, but for the most of the women, why are you focusing on the butt or the leg? What's going on? Why do you need to show them like the quote unquote additional sex appeal? And they were like discussion about that, but in the end of the day, I remember Seth Killen basically said at this time, Seth Killen was still working at Capcom, and he basically said something that I can agree. It's just a different of culture. Japanese culture is way different than American culture to some extent. In Japan, maybe fan servicey. I'm just trying to be nice, using a nice word here. They're more embrace of fan servicey, appealing, let's just say that, intriguing, appealing, than in America. Of course, in America, they'll say, "Oh, how come you're doing it to the women but not to the men?" and blah, 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 blah. Again, different culture. So, like I said, like in Cammy, doesn't really bother me that much. But again, for some fans, maybe it does bother them. The one that sort of bothers me is r.mika, because apparently this character was supposed to be showy, flashy, and very fan servicey. That's basically her personality, and that's why if you see her critical art, if you've seen one of my Mega Mix Game Showcase of Street Fighter Alpha 3, I use a clip from Maximilian basically reacting to her critical art. Because her critical art is supposed to be what reflects on her. That's her personality. She's supposed to be a showy character, very fan servicey, and that her costume basically showing her, butt. But what happened was they decided to basically remove that aspect, and just you hear her slap, but you don't see it. Kind of doesn't work. It doesn't really make sense. Again, like I said, in the intro for Cammy, makes sense. Critical art intro for r.mika doesn't make sense. I think there was a wrong move there, Capcom, because again, r.mika was supposed to be flashy. Me personally, would I be playing r.mika so I can always do the butt slap before the critical art? Probably not. I mean, it's just entertaining, but again, it's just a video game. That's again impact the game. But again, you kind of remove that part of her personality. She's supposed to be cheeky. She's supposed to be, I guess the word is sexy, fan servicey. There you go. So, like most people said, it's not that removing or not showing the fan service is the problem. Is it the problem with censorship? And I agree with what Max said. Matt basically said the same thing. Is it's not a right way to cover up to fix the fan servicey by removing something and censoring things. That's bad because again, it all what when censor equals to all the time. And they know the reason why they censor it is because they want to keep it safe. They want to have good relationship with their consumer because it's a business. They don't want to say, "Oh, this is what Street Fighter is about: sexy fighting girls like DOA." They're trying to have a good relationship with consumer because, again, that's money. Because remember, they're trying to also focus that they want new generation of gamer to play Street Fighter 5. That's always been one of the thing goals for Street Fighter game. And if you know the history of Street Fighter is, not a lot of people can get into it because of, well, the FGC to some extent, expert player to some extent, business wise. So, again, like I said, it was the wrong way. Like I agree with Max and Matt, it was the wrong way to do it. Removing it, censoring it, because when you censor stuff, it equals to the company's telling the consumer, this is how you should like the game. This is how you should look at the game. It's our game, or or it's basically saying this is you're supposed to live with it. Again, maybe they want it to be like that. Maybe not. I don't know. It is kind of confusing. But again, like I said, censorship equals to some extent dictatorship. You're telling people, hey, this is how you should like the game. This is how kind of like telling people this is how you should play the game, which is not necessarily. So if somebody's an r.mika fan likes the butt cheek slap thing, hey, it's within the rights. I don't think it's going to be an M rated because of it. And if it becomes an M rated, whoever's giving the ESRB is probably out of touch. So it's ridiculous. And wow. So overall for Capcom, kind of really disappointing to Capcom. They would go to this approach because maybe again, like what Matt was saying is maybe some parent concern. There was parent concern saying, "Hey, this is what for kids." Maybe because the butt slap is going to be M rated, and Street Fighter was never an M rated game. Or maybe the company basically were getting pressured by people say, hey, this is for kids. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to send a message? I mean, there's a lot. You can't please everyone. That's the problem is. But again, the trick of business is you have to please the most. And of course, fans don't count because fans don't make money for the company. Again, so like overall for the censorship for Street Fighter, kind of disappointing. 2015 and we're still doing this censorship about sex appeal. Yes, I said it there. That's the problem. But what's basically sort of worse than Street Fighter 5, I'm gonna follow the book from Matt from Your Video Game, is of course Xenoblade Chronicles. I also gonna plan to get Xenoblade Cronicles X, the American version. I really don't care about what they remove stuff. But I want to give my thoughts about, again, the censorship. And of course, I'm probably just repeating what other people were saying. If you know what's going on, then you know what happened. But if you don't, I'll give you the gist of it. The gist of it is that the American version of Xenoblade Chronicles, or maybe outside of Japan version, they kind of remove a lot of the aspect. One is one of the characters, like they said, was 13 in Japanese version. They made her 15. Kind of understandable there. And then one of them was that again, fan service outfit was kind of altered in the American version. But in that particular part there, I don't think it's a problem. Not to me, not even me personally. I think 15, 13. I mean, I don't know what the story why Lynn is a 13-year-old. Maybe there's a story behind it. I gotta play the game to understand it. They made it 15. Again, whatever again, that's a safety reason. Okay, I get it. So the character for Lynn, they changed the age, and they got rid of the fan for the outfit. That's not a problem because, again, you're dealing with minors. I know it's a video game, but again, it's a very, very, especially in America, it's a very touchy subject. You gotta be careful with that. But the one that bothered me, again, is what Matt also said. Removing certain feature on creator avatar. Again, one of them, of course, they said was the breast size thing. Because, of course, if you play Saint Row or you play any, well, I guess I hate to say this, M-rated game, you create your own avatar, there is that breast size feature. And, of course, as time and r.mika would say, I would go all the way to the max. Okay, where sometimes shame on me, shame on some people. You get the idea. But personally, it's not really a big deal to me not having it there. But again, what makes a big deal is, again, the censorship, the principle, Nintendo's sort of dictating to the consumer how you should like the game. That's what my bother is. Not so much of, oh, well, you got rid of that part. Because there's also what some people said, alright, if there's a breast size feature change, to change your breast size, why not about, well, for the male, for, the people, for, like, the male feature, why not have that change? Well, I mean, believe it or not, there are some games, but it's not what you're thinking. Like in WWE 2K game, the WWE game from, well, it used to be THQ to Activision, the SmackDown game, the creator wrestler, there is a feature to change the bulge of your character. Yes, as close to it to basically changing the feature size of the male's feature, the bulge. But why is it not on Xenoblade Chronicles? I don't know. Again, it's a Japanese game. Japanese developer, maybe the culture is different. And maybe they just prefer doing it with. Again, I don't know. But again, it doesn't really affect the game. I don't think it's not a big deal. It's just, again, the end of the day is censorship equals the principle. Why are you dictating to us how we should like the game? Why are you telling us why we should only do this? Why should we accept this? And of course, you say, well, how come Nintendo's being censorship crazy? What do they always do? You do gotta keep in mind about Nintendo that Nintendo in America, general consumer sees Nintendo as this family-friendly company. That their video games are meant for people to play together with kids and family in a room. Not so with Sony. Not so with Microsoft. So yes, that's always been Nintendo's deal ever since, like they said in the 80s they've done this. They've been doing this in every game. Does it annoy a lot of hardcore Nintendo fans who grew up with Nintendo? Probably, definitely. I'm partially. But I also understand why Nintendo's doing it. They have, in America, they have an image of kid-friendly family. Maybe not so much in Japan. I don't know. Again, the culture is different. Is it unfortunate? Yes. Can people do something about it? Probably not. But if you really hate saying like Xenoblade Cronicles X, you hate it because you removed the feature, then I highly suggest don't buy the game, don't support the game. Or better yet, don't support Nintendo. But for me personally, I'm gonna buy the game because the game looks good. It doesn't affect the gameplay, but again, yes, it's kind of annoying that they remove features that was in the Japanese. But that's what Nintendo is. Even Alex from his podcast basically said the same thing. It's just Nintendo being Nintendo. I know some people said, "Oh, it's the social justice warrior." In my personal opinion, that one, I don't. Maybe there is influence from the social justice warrior, but I don't think not so much with Nintendo. Again, it's just Nintendo of America being Nintendo of America because of their image. Remember, the general consumer thinks of Nintendo as this kid-friendly family company. That's why all their games are always being either censored of religion or fan service or nudity. So, but the question is, what if Xenoblade Chronicle X was on Sony? Would they alter the thing? Alter any features? And I'm going to tell you right now, Sony, probably not, because what's the best thing about Sony is that one of their, believe it or not, to some extent, unless push comes to shove, they really don't censorship their games. And case in point, the top one of my top of my head is Final Fantasy VI for the PlayStation. Uncut, no alteration. Same goes with Chrono Trigger. Ugh. I think better, basically better. What's the word? Script. Of course, my all-time favorite, Final Fantasy IV for the PlayStation. And then, of course, the PlayStation Portable, the script, boom. Very, very, let's just say, mature style script. But that's just Sony. That's what props to Sony is, that one of their policies that they never, ever want people to alter things in the game. Because again, that it might push it to shove, it might be censorship. People don't like it. But Nintendo's a different company. They've been doing this all the time again. Like I said, from the 80s all the way to the Wii U. It isn't unfortunately why. That's why my concern with Street Fighter V was, again, if Sony's exclusive, why are you censoring stuff that doesn't make sense? I don't think Sony don't care about censorship. I'm gonna tell you that much. To some extent, but again, maybe someone said, oh, it might be an M-rated when you do that butt slap. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they just want young kids to get into Street Fighter V. There's a lot of things going on. But like for Capcom, I hope they do reverse the decision. As for Nintendo, I really just wish they can just grow up and that they go beyond this kid, family-friendly image. But again, Nintendo's being Nintendo. Can't do anything about it. Kind of unfortunate. So anyway, yep, those are my thoughts on the censorship for both Street Fighter V and Xenoblade Chronicles. It's not really much of a big deal. Doesn't hurt the game. But to some extent, I know maybe 90% it doesn't. Maybe that 10% will. But I can understand. Like I said it before. Censorship equals dictatorship, and you're telling to your consumer this is how you should like the game. Unfortunately, so again, like I said, for Street Fighter V, hopefully they do reverse the decision with r.mika and maybe to some extent Cammy. And for Nintendo, to some extent, personal opinion, I hope they just grow up, that your audience is not just kids and family. They're also, gamers that they don't mind the fan service. But again, Nintendo's being Nintendo, can't do anything about it. And like me, I grew up with Nintendo, so I'm a sucker for Nintendo. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so thanks for listening. That's it for now. I'll see you guys later. Bye.